StarCast returns to the Chicago area this Labor Day weekend. Tickets for StarCast 6 are now on sale at StarCast.com. Join us at the Hyatt Regency Schaumburg starting Friday night, September 1st, for unique fan experiences with wrestling legends from yesterday and superstars from today. Follow StarCast events on Twitter for the latest updates about all things StarCast. Can't be in Chicago? Premier Streaming Network has you covered. Visit StarCastOnPremiere.com and get daily access or save with the weekend bundle. Get all past StarCast, the upcoming Wrestling Showcase event, as well as thousands of hours of content from your favorite promotions and stars, and 2 months of Premiere Plus for free. Order now at StarCastOnPremiere.com. StarCast 6 is brought to you in part by ProWrestlingCrate.com. Monthly mystery crates for die-hard wrestling fans. Plans start at $9.95 and are the perfect gift for any wrestling fan. Visit ProWrestlingCrate.com today.
Recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hello and welcome to Arn. This is Paul Bromwell, and as always, I'm joined by the Hall of Famer, the founder of the Four Horsemen, the creator of the Spine Buster, the 1A Tag Team Wrestlers, our television champion, an author, a superhero, and as we learned last week, a man that knows nothing about celebrating by banging on some pots and pans. He's the enforcer. He's Double A. He's Arn Anderson. How are you this week, buddy?
You know, during the course of the week, I think I just forget about all these quirks you have. Because I think this Paul is just such a great guy. He's such a normal dude. He's my normalcy for the week. And I forget about it. And then here we go. Right off the bat, you start popping up the pots and pans shit.
Dude, listen, I had so many people reach out to me, either tag me on social media or just privately DM me and make comments about that. And, you know, Alex, who's a big-time listener, he hits me up. I've never heard of it. And I said, buddy, I love you, but if you throw it into your Google machine, New Year's Eve celebrations at Arn, it's, you know, listen, and then we can move on because this is ridiculous. But I found it, and it said, what does banging pots and pans on New Year's mean? Well, the tradition is carried out across the world, from the UK to Australia. Although it is widely believed that the tradition originated in Ireland, the action is said to ward off evil spirits and negativity, paving the way for a happy and positive new year ahead. So it originated with New Year's. So there you go.
I'm just going to let it lay and
take
you at your word.
All good, man. Listen, I was 13 years old, I think, when it happened. So it's hysterical. I love this show, and I love things that come out of it like that. We're going to have some more fun stuff come out of this one. This is a Ask Arn Anything. But before we jump into it, guys, listen, we will have 3 more opportunities, especially many of you that live in these areas, to meet Arn Anderson upcoming, and we want to make sure that we get that out there for you at the top of the show. And that's right, you get to meet Brock and Arn, and you can make this generation's Wilford Brimley, Arn Anderson, and make sure he has plenty of Hershey bars and almonds. Arn, you said last time no more, right?
You think I'm letting the Wilford Brimley thing fly by?
He had diabetes. That's why I say it.
He is a great actor.
He was.
I'm actually, what you think is a dig, I look at as a compliment. Did you see the China Syndrome, by the way?
No, I didn't. Great
Excellent
movie.
Check it out.
Okay.
That's one of those that the acting, it's incredible. Jane Fonda was in it. Michael Douglas was in it.
Okay.
See, there's some star power there.
Movie recommendation of the week, right at the top of the show.
Yes, sir. And the thing about it is the story. Well, at the end of it, you're like this, like, oh God, that could happen. And I'll leave it there. I won't spoil it for you.
But the important thing is you're
no more Hershey bars for a
right.
while.
Right. You don't want diabetes.
I'm not a guy that looks in the mirror and doesn't see what he sees. I am a tub of shit. I love Hershey bars, but everyone is so generous that follows the show, and it is such a bonding thing. I stocked up on the last tour I came off of signing at one of these Comic-Cons, I think I had 4 regular Hershey's with almonds and 2 king size. And I love you folks for that, but because if it's here, I'll eat it. You know
I know.
Is.
That's how it is, buddy. Hey, what's number 2 on that list? If it wasn't Hershey and almonds, what would be a good second choice? Not that they should get it for you. We know you're trying to avoid it, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, desserts, right, huh?
I mean, I like a Snickers or a Reese's cup.
Yeah. Oh no, Reese's is, it may be the number 1 seller, and I love Reese's.
Okay.
But as far as straight desserts, this one, if you could find it and get it and be the proper deal, is blackberry cobbler. Got it? Blackberry cobbler and cinnamon ice cream.
Oh my.
Now the hook on the cinnamon ice cream is there's only a couple of companies, I think Bluebell maybe makes it, but it's not readily available. But hot blueberry cobbler.
Blueberry or did you say black? I can't remember.
Blackberry. Yeah, let's make sure we distinguish it.
That's right.
Blackberry cobbler. Peach cobbler's good, but blackberry kicks ass, especially if you bake it in the oven and it's hot and crunchy on the crust. That's a dessert, fellow.
We got him talking now, kids. That's exciting, and it sounds. Is that one of Aaron's specialties?
She never makes it. I think she might have made it once, and it was a heat 'em up thing because the rest of the family was not necessarily on board.
Okay.
It wouldn't be their favorite. So if it was, it's like Christmas time, we do those no-bake cookies, the chocolate ones. You've had those?
Yes.
Oh, God. And then there's the traditional peanut butter cookie with the Hershey Kiss in the middle.
Oh, yes. Those are classic.
Once you get those on the menu, a third one is pushing your luck.
Yeah. Well, listen, and we started all this by saying we want to make sure you guys are aware of opportunities to meet Arn.
Yeah. Please come meet me. I love you guys. You don't have to bring anything.
Don't make him go cross-eyed at the table with all the sugar and sweets. Okay, yeah. We don't need to inject him with an insulin pen right there live. But here's where he's going to be. Let's do it. August 26th, as this drops, on the 27th, he is going to be in Salisbury, North Carolina, as part of the AML show that's running in East Rowan High School. Arn, the meet and greet start at 2, and that's 2 hours prior to the 4 o'clock scheduled bell time. But you're going to be there. Nikita Koloff, Eric Rowan, Kane, and the AML champion Brad Attitude are all going to be in attendance. And you can go to amlwrestling.com to get tickets now. And that's just the start of it, Arn. You and I were kind of going through the docket because then the next week, you and Brock are scheduled to be at the Fanboy Expo in Orlando, Florida, and that event runs 3 days. That's September 1st through Sunday, September 3rd. If you are in the area, check it out, fanboyexpo.com and /Orlando. So, Arn, again, another 3-day event for you. And then 2 weeks after that, prior to your birthday on the 20th of September, it's September 15th through the 17th, you guys are going to be a part of Granite Con in Manchester, New Hampshire. I see you looking at your calendar right now. It's filled up there, my friend, the next few weeks. So you can go to granitecon.com for more information and get to meet the Enforcer. Arn, I know you love this, man, the meet and greets.
As many times as I've been to Orlando for different companies over the years, I mean, it's God knows how many times, but I've never done one of these cons there. Okay. So that's first time events, they have their own separate crowd. Kind of, I've missed a lot of you, over the years, and now I get to make up for this. It's both of those events, the Orlando, awesome. That's a full 3-dayer. It's supposed to be a really full event. Expecting a huge crowd in the Granite in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's your first time there, isn't it?
Never been there at all. Never been even remotely close to there. And that's going to be good as well. So I look forward to seeing everybody. We're not rushed. There's no, nowhere we got to be. Once we move into town, we're there. There's no travel involved, so I can just dedicate all that time to, once again, saying thank you to everybody out there that's made our careers, and we appreciate you.
Guys, listen, and take advantage of it, guys and gals. You can get selfies and pictures and personalized, memorabilia signed, all that good stuff, merch. So take advantage of it and come out, say hi to Arn. And I know, as he said, he's going to love it. And speaking of merchandise, Arn, we want to once again encourage our fans to check out the Horsemen merch and the Arn Anderson merch stores. You can find those links at arnlinks.com. And also check out boxofgimmicks.com. By the way, Arn, thanks to an idea from one of our listeners, Bryant Haremza, who's got some fun questions this week. He got together and a few suggestions and a few tweaks with our man Dominic D'Angelo. We have a new T-shirt design coming to the store. So, guys, keep your eye out for that one. And we'll keep the ideas coming for some incoming shirt designs. I love seeing some of the new merch that's coming to the Arn Anderson and Four Horsemen store. So come on, man. Continue to please support us over there at boxofgimmicks.com.
Yeah, and understand that the Box of Gimmicks, the window you go through there is different from the Horseman store, right? They're separate. So there's maybe some stuff over there that you didn't even know was there.
It's two different store sites set up. You have the Arn store and the Four Horsemen store. So once you get over there, make sure you're checking out both. And as you said there, Arn. Well, listen, now that we're through that, it's time for my favorite time of the month, and that's Ask Arn Almost Anything. And last week we had mistakenly plugged April 1993, but not to worry, we're going to pick that up again next week. This week, our fans have control of the show. Arn, this is your favorite show as well, isn't it?
Yeah, because we got some smart supporters and some clever supporters and some fun supporters, and things you didn't think you'd ever get an answer to, you might get an answer to.
There you go. Well, let's do it. And we're going to start off with the First Lady of the Arn Anderson Club, the one and only Amy Vaughn. She's got 3 questions this week, Arn, so here we go. First, she wants to know, who do you currently enjoy watching in the ring?
Well, obviously, spread amongst all the different companies that there are, each one of them has somebody special, and a bunch of somebody special. It depends on what your taste is. A lot of talent getting exposed. This is that hot time of the season. Of course, it's summertime, and the kids are out of school, and everybody's trying to, push to pick up those extra viewers. I like Will Hobbs. I'm happy to see Cody's success. He's doing a really good job. And as far as getting to watch Impact, I wish I could watch it more because I have friends there, Heath Slater, John Scholar, and some of those guys that are there, Tommy Dreamer. I still enjoy watching the old school guys. I think when you talk about personal preference and you talk about variety and different guys that are in the business today that are getting a lot of TV time, it just depends on what your preference is. I think Ricky Starks has a lot of potential, and he's just now coming into his own. Of course, you look at this. What's the kid from the New Japan Wrestling? The Japanese kid that's with Don Callis is his manager. What is his name?
Oh yeah, Takeshita.
I hate to even try to say it.
Takeshita.
The one thing that I like about him is he's kind of working his way into being able to understand the American style. It's not just the Japanese style out of him. He's kind of morphing into being able to work the American style, and I'm enjoying his progress because some of the Japanese, if that's your style, you know, the exchanges with the flippers being way too many and things like that. Some of the mistakes I think they make, just standing there and letting the guy chop your chest till it bleeds, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But that's just my style.
Right, that's what you like, right?
You know, it don't take 10 heavy chops to knock me down. That's for damn sure.
Some of these chops, when you watch these guys go at it as hard as they can, and you hear it, and it sounds like a gunshot, Arn. They got to be feeling that for days afterwards.
Well, of course. And the thing about it is, here's just the truth, guys. For all you guys that like to do those, after about the third one, the crowd becomes desensitized. And even though those things are caving your chest in and they're stinging like all hell, the audience quits reacting to it. And when they quit reacting to it, the audience at home quits reacting to it. So if you just stand there and hit each other and never try to avoid one or duck one or turn a shoulder into one, to me, this is just me now, this is one man's opinion, you look foolish. Especially when I can see your chest and the handprints growing and growing and growing. And you're not letting me know that hurts like hell. You're cheating yourself and you're cheating your reaction, which means you're cheating your audience.
Yeah, it's almost like, hey, I'm just continuing to prove how tough I am. But at some point, it's like, okay, this is uncomfortable. These guys are just beating the living shit out of each other. And it is impressive as a fan, but to your point, it starts to lose its...
It starts out being impressive, and then it's almost like I don't know that they don't believe what's going on so much, but it just gets redundant. And once everything is based on reaction. If you're in the audience and something happens and everybody around you explodes with a reaction and you don't, then maybe you weren't paying attention closely enough. Maybe it's on you, you know what I mean? So you start paying more attention and more people start reacting, and you know, they must think this is a big deal. Let me pay more attention, quit playing grab ass with my girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Exactly. All right, second question from Amy, because she knows your birthday's coming up next month. That's right, it's September 20th. Please send all Hershey bars with almonds. Just kidding. What does your birthday look like, though? She wants to know, do you have any traditions, dinner, restaurants, venues, anything you're willing to share with us about your birthday?
Well, notoriously, it's always been this way. Every time somebody in the family has a birthday, I was either on the road or it was basically centered around what's my schedule. Am I going to be home? It's no big deal at our house to... If I'm on the road, our wedding anniversary or my birthday or Aaron's birthday, they're always made super nice. There's always a nice meal where we can go sit down in a nice restaurant, quiet, 4-star restaurant, have a meal we wouldn't normally have in the course of normal, and I'm talking, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Big bucks is what he was saying, if you're not watching.
Yeah, there's like a steak 48 or something here over South Park. It's just ridiculous. The food, the service, you feel special. When you leave there, you feel like you had an experience. It was an event. We usually have something like that. Aaron usually bakes me a cake, and we're back here. We go to sweets. I love chocolate cake. But the one that always works, because we don't get it very often, is just white cake, white icing. Kicks ass.
That's so there. Cake wise, that's your go-to. That would be white cake, white icing.
Yeah, I mean, I love chocolate cake with chocolate icing, but white cake with white icing when it's fresh, and I mean fresh, that's my favorite anyway. It's awesome. It's awesome.
All right. Finally, Amy wants to know when we're going to have Brock on the show, because she has lots of questions for the next generation of Anderson. So what do you think about that? Maybe we'll do an ask and have the three of us do it together. That'd
Love to have him on. Maybe how about let's push for the next time.
Yeah.
Next time
September.
we tape.
Yeah, September we'll do our next Ask Arn Anything. We'll do Ask Arn and Brock Anything and have you both on, and we'll have some fun.
Yep. And, all right. And we'll just wing it.
Yeah.
I mean, because there is no prep. We don't go over the questions.
We'll let the fans know that it's coming, and then they can bring up all the questions for both of you guys.
Once we put on the headset, just so everybody out there knows, there was no prep or anything like that. We didn't see the questions. So what you get is just a off-the-cuff answer.
And Arn never sees the questions. It's always so this is what makes the show great, I feel like, is that you're just who you are, and so there you go.
It's much better that way. It's a real reaction.
Today, with our crazy schedules, you and I both benefit from AG1. Arn, just one scoop and it gives you 75 high-quality vitamins and minerals. I'm talking improving your gut health, sleeping better, improved focus. What's not to like? This is a slam dunk, and better yet, you're going to sleep better and recover better. It costs less than $3 a day. It's completely worth the investment in you, and it's received 7,000 plus 5-star reviews. Right now is the time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. It's so simple. No need for a million different pills and supplements. And to make it easy, AG1 is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit drinkag1.com/Arn. Again, that's drinkag1.com/Arn to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Hey guys, need to call a quick timeout here. Wanted to tell your listeners what I've been telling my listeners over at OU Didn't Know for a while now about all the cool things happening over at adsfreeshows.com.
Conrad sits down with a pioneer of wrestling television production, director Dan Bynum, who discusses his journey through WCW, ROH, MLW, and where it all began for him, world class.
What really was the thing that catapulted it was, one, working with Ric Flair. He came to the territory and wrestled with the Von Erich boys and gave us so much gravitas. And two, the greatest feud in the history of wrestling, the Freebird Von Erich feud. Mm-hmm. So we were there at the hottest time with the hottest show, and we took over the world.
The Yeti, Ron Reese, sits down with Ad-Free Shows members to talk about his infamous night at Halloween Havoc and how it was received by the boys in the back.
Oh, no, I remember, like, Arn Anderson told me that was the drizzling shits, and Dusty Rhodes was like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. And I'm just like, hey, thanks.
That's just a small taste of what we got waiting for you. With 4 levels to choose from, see for yourself why Ads-Free Shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adsfreeshows.com.
Next up, it's our favorite shit disturber and brand new daddy. That's right, Yambag Jones. As we record this, Arn, his wife was induced, and there is a third little Yambag. Baby Yams is now in the world, so we want to congratulate you, Yambag, and you're going to kill it as Daddy Yambag. Listen, he reached out to me. He said, Paul, yep, I already have 2. I have Greg the Yammer Valentine and Yam Bigelow. So there you go. Here's the third little Yammer into the fold.
Yambag, seek help.
Well, wait till we get to his questions. You may even feel that way even stronger. Here we go. First, what gas station snack could Arn just not resist when driving from town to town?
12-pack of Miller Lite in the bottles.
So not even a snack. Just give me the 12-pack. That's all I care about. No beef jerky, no nothing. Just
90% of the time, or maybe 95, I drove. And I was trying to eat and having that shit all over you while you're going down the road, because in those days, a 15-minute or 20-minute store stop cut way down on your or way up on your ETA getting home. It was a 5-minute in and out. Whether you had to get gas, we would usually try to stop and get gas as we're getting to the town, so we didn't have to do that afterwards in case people were following us to the store and such. So I would usually drive, have a couple of, I know it's the wrong thing to say or do, but
yeah,
I would have a couple going down the road, and I would not overdo it. I would, because
little road
driving.
Sodas. Yeah.
I was driving, yeah. No eating, just I'll eat when I get home.
All right, he wants to know next, what's the biggest difference when going from the Crockett ring to the WWF ring?
size, just the fact that the ropes kicked you off a lot quicker. It was a smaller ring. The ropes were tighter. If you notice when guys hit the WWE ring, especially back in those days, it was almost like you were going to end up out the second row. You know, the give on those ropes. Jim Crockett had the best rings I've ever stepped foot in, ever, by no comparison.
All right, we're going to keep it moving here. We'd like to welcome Charlie Philbrick to the Arn Show, and he has a couple questions for you, Arn. He said, in your opinion, what was your greatest tag team match, a must-see match that all fans should see? It's a hard one.
Just because of the story, one of my favorites was Greensboro, Ole and Arn Anderson versus the Rock and Roll Express in a cage, and they were the champions.
Yeah, that was Starrcade, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, I believe that was Starrcade. I'm going to look it up, but I believe it was Starrcade maybe 86. I'll have to look it up.
So just the story that those guys were the champions and they were having to defend in a cage against us, which should have made us a lot more aggressive. It wasn't just about surviving. And so we had to work the match differently. We beat the ever-loving piss out of those guys.
It was Starrcade 1986. The Rock and Roll Express defeated the Minnesota Wrecking Crew in a steel cage match for the World Tag Team Championships. It went 20 minutes and 20 seconds. So there you have it. Check it out if you'd like to go back and watch it, Charlie.
Yeah, and let me know what you think, Charlie. You know, think about the story now. In those days when you're talking about psychology, if we would have been the champions, we could have been a lot more giving. You know what I mean? All you have to do is survive. You don't have to beat anybody when you're the champion. You just got to keep from getting beat. But in this scenario, we had to take it to them, and we did.
He has a fun hypothetical for you. He said, if you could replace any superstar in any WrestleMania main event with yourself, with the match outcome being the same, who would you replace and why?
Say that again.
If you could replace any superstar in any WrestleMania main event with yourself.
Me be the one to...
You replace them.
Take that spot.
Yep, you take the spot. The outcome's still the same, but you get to take the spot in that main event at WrestleMania. Who would you replace and why?
How about taking Flair's spot against The Undertaker, the one that I hit the spine buster on?
Yes, there you go.
But actually get to be in the match. Yeah.
That'd be good. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Finally, and relevant because of the All In show that's at 1 p.m. tomorrow as this show drops on the main feed, Charlie asked if you were booking it, what would the main event of the Wembley show be? I love the podcast and have been an Arn fan since childhood. Thank you for everything that you've done for us fans and continue to do. Charlie, thank you for the questions. Appreciate it. So if you were the main booker of All In, first time Wembley, I think they've sold over 84,000 tickets. What would the main event of the show be, Arn?
Well, before we go any further, you know, and we don't like to act, and we don't do too much AEW on this show because they've been very gracious in this podcast just being about me and not being a vehicle to plug their stuff. And of course, I'm, you know, proud to plug their stuff, proud to be part of that company. I hope that continues for Brock and I. We'll see. But I just want to wish Tony and everybody that works there, everybody that works for AEW, behind the stage, in front of the stage, everywhere. The owners, you know, Tony Khan, his dad, everybody that has took that from being a startup company not so many years ago, right? What is it, 4 years we're working on?
Yeah.
To setting, it's now officially set the most tickets for any wrestling event of any company of all time. So congratulations, everybody. You know, it's a great group of folks that really love the business. As we grow, we'll get better, I hope, and make some smarter choices. So what would I make the main event?
You get to pick a dream match. Arn Anderson. with the talent roster they have there.
How about the one that got away? Sting.
Versus?
Arn Anderson.
Oh, okay.
This is a wish list, right?
That's true. Hypothetical.
This is a hypothetical, and I'm not saying the current version, because this is just a fantasy booking, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm not saying the current version of he or I, which he's in a lot better shape and can do a lot more than I can, health-wise. I'm going back to at our prime. We get in a time machine. We get back to our prime. I'm saying let's go about 1990 version of each one of us. Can we do that since
sure,
it's a wish
you can
list?
do whatever you want. This is your show.
And put it on the Wembley show. But you know what? I'd like to add one more twist to it. I'd like to open the show with it.
Okay. It'll be fun to see who they start the show with, by the way.
It's important because it used to be when I started, Paul, first match was that's what it was. You got in the ring, you didn't fight out on the floor, you didn't pick up any chairs, none of that. You got in the ring, you wrestled for 15 minutes. Well, that was and then the next second match was maybe same format, but you added another minute or took away another minute. Maybe it was a little more aggressive, and you built your show least to most. These days, you can put a main event on first, and it is not looked at as a first match. You got a fresh crowd. You're sitting there. You're excited to be at the show, and I'm putting myself in the head of our fans. And all of a sudden, first music out of the gate is Sting or Moxley or Jesus Christ, Darby Allin or whoever it may be. You know, whoever your big star is. You know. It's like I'm already getting this match, first match of the night, and you can build your show differently.
Sets the tone.
And as long as they go out and tear the joint down, that doesn't mean they got to fight all over the building and both be bloody messes. Just give them a great story and a great performance, and you're good with that.
All right, up next is Ryan Purvis. And Ryan, I got to give you a shout out because I saw you put this on Twitter. But he says, Arn, the Rome Braves are looking for a brand new name. What do you think of the name Rome Enforcers as a tribute to Rome, Georgia's favorite son? He's tagged him. Other people have saying they want to vote for Rome Enforcers.
Done.
Do you like that idea or what?
Well, it gets my blessing as long as I get season tickets. I love baseball. You know that, too.
Oh, I know that.
Second only to football. I love the Braves. Love Braves fans. I mean, they're on fire. It is fun to watch the Atlanta Braves play baseball. They are. And this would be great. And I still got a couple of friends still live in Rome. I would definitely go down and not throw out the first ball. That'd be ugly. But I'd go down, make an appearance, and give them my blessing and wish them well.
You know what? You mentioned the Braves, and I've just got to watch them in a series play against the team that I root for. And when you talk about a lineup that you just can't run away from or escape, it doesn't matter where they're at in the batting order. Almost everybody has at least 20-some home runs. And Matt Olson, my God, every time he gets up to the plate, you're just scared to death because he could hit it out. And he's got, 42 home runs right now?
Yeah. Everybody in the lineup, plus couple of the utility players in the outfield. Here's the thing, Paul, and I was talking to Brock about this because he doesn't watch every single game like I do because he's got more interest than I do. I mean, he likes, he follows ECU and he follows all the, baseball and football.
Basketball, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a sports enthusiast, period. But I'm strictly, our teams and the Braves and all that stuff. And here's the reality. If they're down by 3 and you're going in the 9th inning, don't necessarily think they're going to lose that game.
No, I know. Yep.
Because, buddy, they fire up, and in that last at-bat, they make some magic, and that makes them fun to watch because it happens a lot. And over the last 3 years, if you follow them real close, it happens a lot. they will take a game away from a lot of teams who let up in that last inning and come back and have a walk-off or whatever it may be.
Yeah, you can't escape them. You cannot escape it. There's no like, oh, I can breathe. I got the 7, 8, 9 hitters. It don't matter.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't. Our buddy Brad Stanton's up next. Wants to know how Brock was feeling before his match with Luchasaurus. Has he ever wrestled a dinosaur before?
No, and nor have I. But he's the giant, whatever he is. He's a big, strong dude. Brock is just chomping at the bit just to get out and just to compete and, be a part of the company. There was no angst about him. He knew he was overmatched in size and strength and experience and all those things. He knew that. I never saw one look in his eye that was like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe it's too soon for me to be in a spot like this. Never saw that from him. Here's a guy that's had 40 matches or 45 or whatever he's had. That's not a lot. And he just wants to be a part of the company. And, I would love to see him get more plugged in. And just if nothing else, just get to wrestle more at the shows, even if it's dark matches in front of live crowds. And he's, he loves the business. He's a smart kid. You could sit down and talk business with him, and he's like talking to a guy that's had 10 years experience. Of course, he grew up around myself and Flair and a lot of smart guys. Dusty, he was, he's heard the philosophy, and he's been at our table and ate dinner, and when we talk business sometimes watching the show. It's not like dinner's a sacred thing and there's no talking business at the table. Shit, we talk business at the table, and he understands and he gets it.
I got to ask you, so you obviously accompanied him, and you and Christian take some verbal jabs at each other. Do you still get butterflies in those moments? Because it doesn't happen as often, obviously, that you come out on television anymore. But when you do, you got the mic, you're coming down the ramp. Do you still get a little bit of butterflies, or is this like old hat for you still, Arn?
No, God, no. I love it. And if you happen to get a nice reaction because they remember you in that town and you weren't what they were looking, of everybody in the world of wrestling they were looking for to come through that shoot, they weren't expecting you, and you get that reaction.
Yeah, Greensboro.
It was like, we live and breathe, and the reason we do this are the right reasons. Those of us that have always done it for the right reasons. There is no rush like going through that curtain, taking your maestro stick and waving it around, and 20 minutes later coming back through the curtain and it being as loud leaving as when you went out through the curtain. We work to perform, we work to entertain our audience, and there is nothing like the rush of just getting in there and just getting amped up, man, and fighting. It's a hell of a rush.
I know for us as listeners and fans, and I'm sitting in my chair, I'm watching Collision, and then I'm like, oh my God, there's Arn. Because you and I had no idea you were going to be coming out. But it was in Greensboro, and I'm like, this is so freaking cool. And I text you afterwards. But it's like, man, you just pick up the mic, never a loss for word. There's no brain farts or whatever the phrase is. Just the delivery is on, and I'm like, man, it's like he doesn't have to be on TV for months at a time, and he's just so natural and just comes off just so easy delivering those lines, man. And I was just curious if you still get the butterflies or no. It's just easy at this point.
I get the rush, but I'm not nervous in a negative way. You know, that I'm afraid I'm going to screw this up. If you don't have the butterflies, something's the matter with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because a live wrestling event, being out there live, well, even if it's a TV taping, it's an incredible experience because everybody's playing off of everybody.
We have Brad Stanton has one more question. He says, "What do you think of these six-man tag team main event matches? Are they the way to go for television?" So we're seeing quite a bit of that, the six-man tags. What's your feeling on those, Arn?
It depends on who the opponents are and how much I've already seen in the show. If I've seen another six-man or two prior to that, it takes the edge off of those guys going on last. But you've got some pretty good, whether trios,
Yeah,
I guess they would call.
that's what they're calling them, trios matches.
Trios matches. You got a lot of really good 3-man teams, and as long as they're different, I just challenge the guys to find a monitor, watch what goes on before you, and try to keep everything you do during your match fresh. And the first time I've seen it tonight, you're doing yourself a benefit by doing that.
Yeah, hey, there's a lot of talent on the roster, and so it does give everyone, people opportunity to all be on TV with those matches. So that's nice for the wrestlers themselves too.
Let me plug the people of Greensboro, because the one thing Brock did say after, he realized that he had got his ass kicked pretty good, beat up pretty good, and we're on the way home, and it's he was probably aching and hurting a little bit. It was a pretty physical match, and we weren't talking a whole lot about it, but the next day I saw where he posted something, and it was not lost on him being to it, if he never does it again, which that will not be the case, but if he never gets to wrestle in Greensboro again in front of a crowd like that, it was exactly what I said it was. It's a magical, special place. It's hallowed ground, and it was not lost on Brock what an honor and a privilege it was to perform in front of those people. He gets it.
Yeah, that's great. And you don't even think of that, but you're right. He got to perform in a building that his dad and so many others bled, sweat, and tears. How cool is that?
Yeah, all those matches, every veteran that has been a top guy and is somebody they talk about 30, 40 years later, all the top talent remembers a Greensboro match and a Greensboro show and what makes it special and all that, and he now will be in that list of guys that have actually performed. It's a special honor and a privilege to be in Greensboro wrestling.
All right, next up is Dylan, and his question: was there ever any discussion of Cody turning heel during his time in AEW, especially when the fans started to turn on him?
Yeah, there was plenty of it. For me, I felt, and you say turning heel, I just saw Cody, because he didn't want to do, and this is no cat out of the bag thing. He has such a strong need or want to do the right thing, to be a role model. He wants to be something that kids can look up to, and he wants to be, to always do the right thing. And I tried to explain to him, Cody, I get that you want to do the right thing, and you want to be a baby face, and you want to wear a white hat, and you want to, that's really the kind of the person he is. You want to be that positive force for kids and
a role
fans.
Model. Yeah.
Yeah, a role model. I don't give two shits about being a role model. And if a guy thumps me in the nose, I'm going to headbutt him right between the eyes. I believe in one-upsmanship. If a guy slaps me, I'm going to, take his head off or something. It's the way that I feel that you stay competitive sometimes in matches that not necessarily are you more physical or a better wrestler or have more skills or whatever, but whatever you do to me, brother, you got one or at least coming back that's going to be a little bit more mustard on it. And I used to just say, wrestle rough, Cody. If a guy kicks you in the head, kick him in the head twice. And he just had this look on his face that he knew he had enough talent, and he was a smart enough student of the game that he could accomplish all the goals that he needed to without having to do that. My philosophy is, why wait till you get behind the 8 ball? Bring the aggressiveness right out of the get-go and make a guy have to fight for his life just to get back even. There's a different philosophies, and if I'm sitting on my ass in the corner and there stands a guy that is, now I've pissed him off, now he's really looking to kick my ass, and I'm sitting on my ass in the corner and his knee is right in front of me, what is to stop me from just reaching out and kicking his knee out from under him? It's not rocket science. I don't feel guilty about it. I feel like, okay, from a very compromising position of sitting on my ass trapped in this corner with a referee in the way, number one, another guy trying to hurt me, am I beyond kicking a guy's knee out? Absolutely not.
When you were talking about that aggressive style, it was kind of taking me back to watching him recently with Brock Lesnar. Brock comes out like a buzzsaw. He isn't waiting. He's kicking people's heads in. That's his aggressive nature, and people love him even as a baby face and treat him as such. But he has that in his nature, man. It's
well, if you're wrestling Brock Lesnar and you don't hit him with everything that you possibly have in 5 minutes, no matter how you can jam it in there or get it in, you're a fool, because you may never get nothing. If you don't.
That's right.
If you don't strike first and strike hard, and I mean double up and triple up and do things that are just beyond the rule book, you may not get any offense at all, because it'll be over before you know it.
It was cool to see Brock give him that level of respect after that match at SummerSlam, that he never does that with he rarely does it. Let's put it that way.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Yeah. So that said a lot. Huge supporter of the show, Nick Lenz, wants to add, if you're looking forward to going to Fanboy Expo in Orlando, because he said, I'm going to see you there, Arn. So,
hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. It's a holiday weekend. I got the whole crew going, you know. Aaron's coming, Smokey's coming, Brock and I are signing. It's going to be a full deal. There's some people, friends of ours, that live in Orlando. So it's going to be a holiday weekend for us. It's going to be fun, and it's the first time, you know, doing one of those in Orlando. So
nice.
Look forward to it. Yes, big time.
All right, Nick. Well, he'll see you there. Paul is up next. Paul J. Malone, I guess. He says, welcome to Arn. Ask Arn almost anything. Paul commented, have you seen Tully versus Ultimate Warrior? I believe it's only a few days before Tully leaves WWF. It's short and awesome. Tully was the man. If you have seen it, can you please comment on it? So have you seen that match, Tully versus Ultimate Warrior?
A single with Tully and the Warrior.
Yeah. I don't recall it from the top of my head. I'll have to go back and check it out, I guess.
No, but I'm absolutely certain Tully is good enough that he actually got more out of Warrior than Warrior could have got out of Warrior. Tully's pro. Anybody that, you know, no matter, I mean, he had heat with guys, you know, he was just real arrogant, and that's who he was 24/7, confident in his own abilities and his knowledge and all that stuff, and, it put a lot of heat on him, but he could go. He could back it up.
Arn, our buddy, the Mediocre Warrior's here to poke you a little bit. He says, Mr. Anderson, is it true you are lobbying for Van Hammer to be a part of the Four Horsemen?
Oh, God. Really? I can assure you that conversation never happened. He informed those of us upon his inaugural day walking in the locker room that he was the WCW's answer to the Ultimate Warrior. He's there to save the show. And we waited for him to start laughing, like just trying to break the ice, guys, and, making a joke. It never came.
Arn,
let me tell you who. Can I tell you who was in that group?
Please tell us. Yes.
There was Steve Austin, Bobby Eaton, myself, William Regal, and probably one more, and we were just standing there yucking it up, and the cat came down the stairs or walked in backstage at center stage, and man, it was hot as shit. It was, there was no air conditioning backstage there. It was hot as hell. And he comes walking in with this big shiny like leather coat, cowboy hat, a guitar around his neck, and he was jacked. He had to be 275 with abs. His body was incredible. He was already oiled up with the icy hot, so he was purple. Hi guys, just walked up and just Started shaking everybody's hand. Hello, guys. Van Hammer here. I'm the WCW's answer to the Ultimate Warrior, here to save the company. And brother, you could have heard it. When he walked on by, we found out this was not a rib, because that's the first time ever seeing him. You know, he was in full regalia at 3:30 in the afternoon. It was quite the pop amongst us, anyway.
Oh man,
no Horseman plans. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not at all. Arn, what a disappointment that turned out to be. And fellas, if your bedroom game is as big a disappointment as Van Hammer was to WCW, may we suggest something that can help you out? Arn, you know where I'm going with this.
Of course I do. We're already 2 in, and that's early.
Buddy, I'm here to talk to him about, let me talk to you about Blue Chew. Listen, it'll make your pecker so hard you could carve ice statues with it. Your face.
Ice statues.
Yeah.
Where are you going to find it in your ability to travel that has ice outside? Isn't that relegated to like Antarctica and places like that?
I was going to say the Great White North, you could probably find some places.
So all of you people that live above Minnesota in the north, if once it's frozen solid, I would say for this venture, pop 2 Blue Chews. And if you're going to go to whittling away on some, what are they called?
Ice statue. Yeah.
Go out there and carve up a wife's ice statue with your knob.
With your knob.
Have at it.
Blue Chew's going to get the job for you done. And listen, not only that, you can save money on the Blue Chew because you know what? Arn is a strong proponent of Blue Chew. They have a relationship. He has a relationship with Blue Chew. So much so of a relationship. He's popped so many Blue Chew in his lifetime that they said, we got to sponsor your show, Arn Anderson. So no one knows better than Arn how Blue Chew works. Isn't that right, Arn?
Yeah, and you know, when they offered that, I said, yep, let's do that.
And he's been smiling ever since.
Send away, fellas. Send away.
So check it out. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Make sure your Van Hammer is standing tall. And the best part is you can do it all online. There's no, problems as far as swallowing pills. The tablets are chewable. And listen, we've talked about it here on the show before. We all know there's reasons that sometimes it's hard to perform. Maybe you enjoy too much white cake with white icing. Maybe you've had it, now you have diabetes. Whatever the case may be, you can still take Blue Chew and get that Van Hammer standing strong. And so check it out now, BlueChew.com, promo code ARN to receive your first month free. That's right, BlueChew.com for more details and safety info.
A day ago, my beard was completely dark brown. I took a Blue Chew and went on the attack, and one day later, look at it.
You worked so hard, you turned...
It's completely white.
It's white. It's the white out, the great white out. Arn, up next, a wrestling historian asks, what did you enjoy the most about being a road agent? Thanks in advance.
Very little.
You were going to say that.
It's not a glorious job. It's not a glamorous job. It's, I will say this, it's a lot of responsibility because, you're responsible for what guys do or ladies do in every match of the night. Responsibility falls on you. So you got to be on your toes and you got to be paying attention. You got to be going between the music position and the locker room and between matches, and guys are wanting to see you, and you're out there watching a match so you can report on it in your agent's report at the end of the night. It goes back to the office. So it's kind of hard to report on things that you don't see, and if a talent sends a message by the referee that, hey, I need to see Arn, and if I take off and I leave that position and something critical could happen during the match and I missed it, it's just a lot of activity, a lot of, from the moment I walk in the building to the moment I leave, it's you got to be on your toes. But I will say this, every now and then you get to see some talent that you don't know existed, because TV matches are shorter and you haven't got to see that side of them, and they're finally in an element where they got 15 minutes and they can perform and show you some stuff, and you get a chance to build on that and help that talent, and let them know, hey man, that was good, keep that up, bring that to TV, and you get to help people and help them get better and offer advice, and it's not like sometimes people will offer you, other talent will offer you advice that they know is going to sabotage you because it's a competitive deal. Guys knew when they talked to me, I would just give them the straight Skippy. I don't have any politics in mind. If I can help them, I help them.
Arn, I got to ask, based off your experience as a road agent with WWE, you come over, AEW is a startup company. Obviously, you came in coaching Cody and all that. But was there ever a conversation as far as when you've got first signed to a contract, hey, interested in being a road agent for us? Or was that ever brought up to you?
Not until after, let's just say in the last 6 months, there's been that conversation. And the reality is, I would prefer to keep that relationship as like coach to player. I would rather keep it in a casual, not be my job description.
Yeah, not be your official title. Yeah.
I could have 25 guys could line up, and I would be able to spend whatever time it would be helping them.
Coaching, I got you.
If they ask, but I don't want that to be my job. Just because for 19 years, it was really a hard job.
I knew I knew you didn't like it that much.
I got burnt out.
Yeah.
But I think if it's in a, still in a professional setting, and we're backstage, and a guy comes up, Will Hobbs asks me all the time, what do you think about this? Different guys ask me. If they want my opinion, I'll be happy to give it to them, and.
Almost like a quality control coach kind of thing, where you can meet with different wrestlers and just talk about what you're seeing and how they can improve.
Yeah, I love the business. If I'm sitting there, and I try to watch most of the matches when I'm at TV taping, and anybody comes up and asks, I try to give them an honest opinion.
That's good.
Because that's the way that, the knowledge of our business gets passed down generation from generation. And it's guys like Jake Roberts and myself and, Dean Malenko and Billy Gunn and guys that are, backstage, and they have some great coaches. They really do. It's up to us to coach them up, and help them. I'm just not sure that I want to step back into that role on a permanent basis. There's meetings that nobody ever sees that you have to be at, and time-consuming things that you have to be at. You know what I'm saying? And
I do.
I had 19 hard years, and prior to that, I had all those WCW years that I was, an agent, coach, whatever you want to call it, producer. I just want to enjoy what time I have left in the business and sit back and watch it like a fan. And if I can offer some information that'll help a guy get better, I'm glad to do it. And you don't even have to pay me extra for it. How about that?
Just be a consultant.
An information source.
There you go.
How about that?
All right, we're gonna define your new title here soon. All right, Michael Eldridge, he writes, Arn and Paulie B recently talked about the horrid White Castle mini movie featuring Sting and Vader. Of the 3 mini movies made by WCW, so you got the Spin the Wheel movie with Jake Roberts, the White Castle or Beach Blast, easy for me to say. Which would Arn choose to have a starring role in if forced by WCW?
Well, I guess I could have got old up and walked around in the background on the beach, right?
Yeah, the Beach Blast one. You could have done that.
I could have pulled that off. Okay. That's probably the only thing that made any sense. It was just we were just trying too hard to be entertaining, and we're really not qualified. We're not Hollywood. We're a wrestling organization. We're out of our league.
Yeah. We have another female member of the Arn Anderson fan club, Miss Heather Whitley. And she says, it was great seeing you and Brock on TV again, where you belong. This may have already been addressed, but you mentioned earlier this year that Brock's contract was coming up soon. Has he re-signed?
Not yet. It's up at the end of the month.
End of August.
End of August. So we will see. I hope so. You know, I hope he's one of those guys, you know, guys like him and Taz's kid, and a lot of young talent that has a lot to offer. Just haven't had a chance yet. I hope things work out and we're able to stay.
All right. Jonathan Woolridge is up next. He said, thank you, Arn and Paul, for putting on great podcasts. Thank you, Jonathan, for listening, man. He said, would Arn rather have had Jim Crockett come back when Bill Watts left WCW?
Jimmy was an owner and not really a wrestling aficionado. I don't know what he could have brought to the table. He's an entirely different animal, different human being. You know, Jimmy couldn't tell you how to put a match together, but he could tell you when he saw a good match. You know, Bill wanted to do it his way, and you know, even though he was an owner of his company, Mid-South, he was not an owner of WCW. So Jimmy would have just, I don't know, maybe he would have been smart enough to put the right guys in charge as his booker and office staff and top talent maybe.
Before we get, we're going to do some rapid fire would you rathers to wrap up the show. Before we get there, though, because you can't escape without that. Brian Haremsa, he wants you to explain the difference between wrestling as a baby face and heel. How hard is it for someone who has been a career heel to transition into a wrestling baby face?
As long as you don't change anything. Now, that's babyface turning heel or heel turning babyface.
He said going from heel, how hard is it for someone who's been a career heel to transition into a babyface?
Here's how it happens, and it happens seamlessly and effortlessly. And if you're a kick-ass, nasty, mean heel that has hurt all the guys that I really like and that my mother likes and my grandmother likes and all that, all you have to do is have that guy, that heel, who everyone knows is dangerous and has hurt a lot of people. All you have to do is have him come to the aid of a babyface that I really like. And now, other than the guy, the heel, doing all this nasty stuff to the babyfaces, he switches camp and he starts doing it to all the heels. Does that make sense?
It does.
You know, that guy that I was afraid was going to kill all the babyfaces now is on our team. And that's all it takes. You don't change your move set. You just put them in different places. You don't change your attitude. You're still that guy. It's just your opponent changes.
Arn, are you ready?
I guess.
Would you rather? What a fantastic segue for the segment created by the brothers D'Angelo. Yes, you could blame them. But this one's a fun first one. Up first from Dylan, he said, would Arn rather have won the WWF Championship or the NWA World Heavyweight Championship?
NWA.
Okay, that was easy. Scott Golden says, Arn, would you rather eat a block of cheese every day for a month or wrestle the Ultimate Warrior in a cage match every day for a month?
I've always liked cheese.
That popped me. Brandon Arthur. He's ruthless with this one. This Brandon Arthur here. Would you rather referee an Elegante versus Great Khali Iron Man match for 60 minutes or face them both in a 2 out of 3 falls handicap match?
God almighty. Oh. There's no good options on that table, is there?
They both suck, buddy. You're either
or you want to stick a Glock in your mouth and pull the trigger, or you want to take a samurai sword and fall on it. It's like, which are your druthers?
Exactly.
I would suggest Khali and and Elegante, if we would have tried to put that on TV, they might have shut down CNN completely. They might have shut down TBS. The whole wrestling industry might have just faded to black.
Just caved in.
Just an explosion like the atomic bomb.
Right, the mushroom cloud. Yeah.
Fade to black.
There you go. Well, you'd probably pick that one, though, so you wouldn't have to worry about a 2 out of 3 falls match with both of them, right? Being a referee, at least you can kind of stand in the corner and just shake your head. Or
I could do like Bronco Lubitsch. I could just walk up close and count with my feet standing up. I don't want to get any closer than that.
So good. Michael Eldridge, would Arn rather produce Agent and Iron Man match between Elegante and the Renegade, or eat 10 cheeseburgers, each with different types of cheese?
Brother, I would just roll them up in a ball like you do crystals. Just make a golf ball out of them and pop them in and smile.
He's eating cheeseburgers.
Smile the whole way.
All these are Elegante related. Charlie Philbrook asked, would you rather go 60 minutes with Elegante or have cheese on your burgers for the rest of your life?
He can't go 60 minutes. He can't stand up for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And if he falls down, he won't get up for 60 minutes. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Guys, I can't say this strongly enough. Go back and find what's available. He's not good. He was not good. He's not good now. Bless his heart, I think he might have passed, so I don't want to talk badly of him.
Sure.
He was not destined for this industry.
We're only here talking about his wrestling skill or lack thereof.
Yeah, that's it.
Back to stir it up. Yambag Jones wants to know, would you rather do 6 months in prison or 6 months in the jungle?
Oh, I think probably the jungle, I would think. I mean, I'm not much of a prison guy. Although I do watch the prison shows, you know, because it reminds me why I need to be a good citizen.
That's right.
Don't commit any crimes. Don't do any of the things, because I could, you know, they say don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That'd be me.
Okay. Couldn't do the time.
Nope.
All right, so Arn's going to the jungle, baby. All right, welcome to the jungle with Arn Anderson. Additionally, Yambag says, would you rather only eat meat and potatoes or never be able to eat meat and potatoes again? So only eat meat and potatoes or never be able to eat meat and potatoes again. Which one do you choose?
Oh, I could eat meat and potatoes all the time.
Okay, so you're picking that one. That's the only thing you can eat. Okay.
Yeah, hell yes. Yeah.
All right, because you could probably have the potatoes differently, different styles. Scallop potatoes, mashed potatoes, baked potato, you know, all the different
hash
varieties.
browns.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Baked potato with bacon and butter is one of my favorites.
Okay. Have you ever had potato cakes? That's where they put a little flour in them and like fry them up.
Hell yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's just kind of like little squares of like the Waffle House.
Yes.
But thicker, right?
Yes,
potato
sir.
Cakes, more solid.
My grandmother used to.
Than hash browns. Yeah, they're good.
Yambag's final, would you rather, would you breathe like Darth Vader or talk like Yoda? What would you pick? Would you rather breathe like Darth Vader or talk like Yoda? Some people say you already do breathe like Darth Vader, but whatever. So which one is it? Breathe like Darth Vader or talk like Yoda?
Like breathing issues I'm having.
Yeah, well, they were like, make comments.
I've apologized about that, guys. that is a real thing that
we know
left over, you know, from
COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Erin always, last thing she does when she hooks me up, make sure everything's working properly, is she goes, "What's your breathing?"
She's the perfect. Your perfect soulmate, Arn. Erin's so good.
She puts herself. Yes, she is. She puts herself in the pocket of the fans and knows how irritating that is. Here, make the show better. That breathing hard's, you know, the shits. But it's what I'm left with, guys. I try. I think about it. Not much I can do about it. So that is.
So we'll just have fun with it. So to answer, I'm assuming you'd rather breathe like Darth Vader though than talk like Yoda.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I'm almost there now.
Yeah. Would you rather have had a historic main event world title run that paid relatively above your means, or a 3-month program with Elegante that paid WrestleMania level money? So a historic main event world title run in WCW that relatively, paid relatively above your means, or a 3-month program with Elegante that paid WrestleMania level money.
Well, being one of those guys that lived beneath his means and smart enough to do that at the time and realize pay your bills, pay your taxes, save your money, like all the veterans will tell you, I could have probably saved a good chunk of that and walked away with my head held high. Being rich and having to lay down every night and stare at the ceiling and have flashbacks of a match with Elegante, not sure I'm that mentally strong.
There you go. Final question, and we'll wrap it up. Final would you rather. Would you rather listen to 8 straight hours of Ultimate Warrior promos or take 1 bump onto thumbtacks?
I could take the thumbtacks. I wouldn't enjoy it.
I love it.
I certainly wouldn't enjoy those promos. I never got...
It didn't make sense, right?
The message. When they were done, you just being a fan and not having the inside knowledge you have now. But when you would hear those, when it was said and done, was there a message that you received, Paul?
No. There was. As a kid, you were just like, wow, okay, that's cool, I think. On to the next thing. I mean, you just, nothing resonated.
I think I'll just go on record as saying this. He came along at a time that wrestling was red hot. He looked incredible. His body stood out from
everybody.
His energy until he blew up.
Yeah.
Was, it
Off
was
the
just
page.
Yeah, it was just so random and abstract in every way. But it all just comes back to the fact that the guy was tan, the guy had those big veins, his body looked incredible, and he got away with it. You couldn't get away with it in today's world. And as we saw, once it was over, it was over. You couldn't go back and really rehash it. But I never did get what message he was trying to send me.
No.
If there was one.
No. So Arn's taking thumbtacks to the back, the feet, the legs, the face. Just put them everywhere. Make him a pincushion. Just don't make him watch any more of those promos. Arn, that's going to wrap us up this week. I want to thank all the fans who contributed to this show. And listen, we're not kidding. We're going to bring Brock in next time for the next Ask the Andersons Anything. We had so many questions, guys. We couldn't get to them all. We've saved them, and we're going to include them in future Ask Arns. But we're going to have some fun the next time. Remember, check out arnlinks.com for all things Enforcer. They can find our social media pages, previous episodes, the merch, even like what Arn's drinking out of right now, that tumbler. The shirts that we're wearing, there's a new version of this shirt that I'm wearing now, a little bit cleaned up and looks really good that Dom did for us. And Arn's got his AA shirt on. That's out there at the store, so check that out. Arn, next week, we return to the Walk Through Your Career. We're going to look at your return to the ring, the feud with Eric Watts. Buddy, your match in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. We have that clip. It's a 9-man tag team match. We're going to talk about the creation of the Flair for the Gold, and then now infamous WCW Saturday Night match between Cactus Jack and the world champion, the man they call Vader. So there you go. Guys, listen, if your business targets 25 to 54-year-old men, no better place than to advertise with us right here on The Arn Show. You've heard us do the ads for some of the same companies for years, and it's because it works. There's very little waste, so check it out now. AdvertiseWithArn.com. That's AdvertiseWithArn.com, and you could advertise on the show. And then finally, ad-free shows. That's where you get all of our podcasts early and ad-free, and access to about a dozen other wrestling podcasts as well. Starts at just $9 a month, and you can enjoy the first week completely free with us. So check it out now. You get a free trial for that week. Find out what ad-free shows is all about at adfreeshows.com. Arn, thank you so much for doing it with me this week, buddy.
One short public service announcement, if I could. Guys, it is hot across this land, and it god-awful hot, humid, different places. Hydrate. You may think it's something I didn't drink enough water back when I was young and wrestling, and now that I do and I overdo it, man, I see what a difference it makes. But there's some serious heat going on out there in the world. Drink a lot of water. It makes a difference.
There you go. There's your H2O public service announcement from the enforcer. Arn, that's going to do it for us this week. On behalf of the Hall of Famer, the founder of the Four Horsemen, and creator of the Spinebuster, Arn Anderson, this is Paul Bromwell, and we'll be right back here again next week on Arn.
Eric Bischoff here again, telling you about our friends over at SaveWithConrad.com. Now, Conrad's always talking about how they are helping homeowners save money, but did you know that Conrad and his team can also help you become a homeowner? They make the home buying process more enjoyable than, I don't know, making out with Stephanie and Linda. Ouch! But don't take my word for it.
Hi, I'm Sarah Davis, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. So my husband has been a huge fan of Conrad's podcast for many, many years. And for years, we were on road trips, and he would have me listen to it. And then I got really into it. And so when it came time for us to buy a house, it was kind of like, there's really no other option at this point. Like, we have to go down this path, right? It was the best. I worked with Steve. I don't know what to do. I was looking more for preparing to buy a house. How do I get this in order? What does this need to look like? What do I need to move around? What's more important that I pay off first? Because I'm a first-time home buyer. I don't know what that needs to look like. So that's when I called you guys and I talked with Steve, and phenomenal from day one. I got a full education on home buying before I was ever asked to fill out an application, before I was ever asked to do anything, which is just, I mean, I cannot brag on you guys enough. I literally cannot tell enough people about you, because we would not have a home if it weren't for you, if it weren't for that interaction and weren't for the learning process. And I feel like I went into being a first-time home buyer by the time we got through the end of the process with the same education that people need 4 or 5 homes to buy. And so now I feel like, all right, well, we can do this. We can do real estate. I can actually make good decisions and ask good questions at closing and beyond because of everything that you taught me. My name is Sarah Davis, and I got into my dream home with Save with Conrad.
And unlike the dirt sheets, we're not making this up. Check out all the 5-star reviews. Go to SaveWithConrad.com and do it today. You'll be grateful you did.
NMLS number 65084, Equal Housing Lender. Woo!